Can the gig geezer take the fifth, as in making $1,500 or more in 2022? Let's find out on this Sunday ride along. Hey, if this is your first time checking out the Gig Geezer, thanks for stopping by. And if you would, hit that subscribe button, give my content a thumbs up, share my content among others, and I definitely welcome your comments in the section below. Well, if I look a little kind of preoccupied, it's because I've been navigating my way through this very busy IHOP parking lot. IHOP on Sundays is packed, and usually their orders are ready depending on which carrier. Like if it's Uber Eats, typically the orders are ready, but I had to wait about 5 to 7 minutes for the order there, which is no big deal. But while I was waiting, I had a slew of orders to come through. As you see on the screen, some are very tempting and others, well, it is what it is. But what I did accept, though, in addition to IHOP, is a $14 2-item order from Outback, and I'm actually turning into the parking lot here now. IHOP and Outback are all on the same, I guess you say, strip property, in that there's IHOP, then there's Fazoli's, then there's Hooters, then there's Chili's, and then there's IHOP, all in this same strip property area. And so we're looking to start off pretty respectable, at least, you know, for Sunday. I was thinking that it's going to be rather slow, but it looks like it's going to be pretty respectable. So I'll get back with you once I've picked up the Outback order, and we'll talk a little further. All right, we're finally moving now. It's been I had about a 5 to 7 minute wait at Outback, but we have a chance to make $28.53 within the first 45 minutes, and so I am not going to complain much about that. While I was waiting I happened to run into someone who has seen me in action in terms of doing my hustle, and he was telling me that he's about to leave his job, even though he's making like $50,000 a year, $55,000 a year at his job. I've shared with him the type of money I've made, and he's like, yeah, man, I'm about ready to bolt from here. Come by Mother's Day, I'm out of here. And he told me he's been trying to get on with other apps like Amazon Flex. They're full right now, but they'll always be cycling through people. Point Pickup is full right now in my market because once Roadie's presence had decreased by losing the Walmart contract, everybody ran over to Point Pickup. And I'm also aware that there's a waiting list with Grubhub. Who else? I told him to get on with all of them as possible, as many of them as possible. I didn't mention about Instacart and Waiter/Bite Squad, but what that tells me is that people are looking for alternatives to their job situations, but also people are looking to make extra money, and they hear about the money that some people can make, and they're like, hey, you know what? I'll give it a try. If I don't like it, hey, I'll just do it, here and there, and be okay with the $20, $30, $40, $50 I make at a time. But this guy is looking at wanting to do it like I do, basically full time. And he knows that I do it 45 hours a week on average. Actually, it's more like 45 hours a week. And he's looking for the flexibility and not having to deal with people breathing down his shoulder. So I guess I'd like to think that what I've been sharing with y'all here on this channel is pretty good information. And by the way, if you like the content that I've been sharing here on this channel, hit that subscribe button, give my content a thumbs up, share my content among others, and I definitely welcome your comments in the section below. All right, so we've dropped off the Uber Eats order, which is showing for $14.53. And on my way up to this subdivision, I happen to catch a Grubhub order for $11 and change from Red Robin. And that order kind of places myself in a linear path on the way to dropping off the DoorDash order. So it looks like within the first hour, we're looking at somewhere around $40 for the first hour, which is not a bad start on a Sunday. Now, I am probably kicking myself because this is where sometimes working multiple apps can bite you. Now, right after accepting the Grubhub order, there was an ideal Instacart order, $54.95, triple stack, no more than 50 items on that one. And I accepted it and realized, well, I can't do this because there's no way I'm going to get back within 30 minutes before the app will actually unassign me from it. And so I had to throw back a $54.95 Instacart order. So somebody may have gotten themselves a nice little opportunity there. Then again, when it comes to those triple stacked orders, a lot of times the people drive you up the wall. So maybe it's best that I threw it back though. But we're now heading to Red Robin, a place that sometimes I do cringe because they don't always have their act together. My very first food delivery order was a Red Robin on Postmates, and I waited like a fool 45 minutes for that order, and I got paid all of like $3 or $4. Didn't know any better at the time, obviously. That's a place that I have to really just feel good about going to at that time. What I have noticed though, at the location I have picked up Red Robin orders from, of late, they tend to have the orders ready, but there are times still that I have to throw it back because they just ain't ready. They ain't got their act together. But anyway, I will get back with you once one of the possibilities have occurred, where I picked up the Red Robin order and or dropped it off, and or at the very worst, we're in the process of dropping off the DoorDash order and looking for something else. All right, as you can tell, the gig user got in a little bit of a workout there. At least he got in his warm-up, in that he had to go up a couple flights of stairs, drop off that Grubhub order, and now we are heading in the direction of dropping off the DoorDash order. And while upon leaving Red Robin, I accepted, hopefully I will be able to complete it, another Grubhub order, $18.32 from Salsarita. All right, so we've dropped off the DoorDash order that was from Outback. It offered $14, and that's what I got, $14. And now I am heading with some diligence and determination to Salsarita for this $18.52 order. Now we are an hour in, and we're looking at, like I said, right at about $40, 39 and change to be exact. And so with the Salsarita order, probably we're looking at somewhere about $59 in about an hour and a half. So we're not doing bad. I'm not liking the fact that I'm working this particular area, but at the same time, the quality of orders that are coming that I've accepted so far is the only reason why I'm still out this way. What I don't want to do is, as I've often shared, is get into the trap of delivering to the black hole, where you end up hoping to connect dots by stacking orders, which don't always happen, and or these become one-out situations in which you're not able to stack anything. Alrighty, we are less than a couple minutes away from dropping off this Grubhub order that is not from Salsarita, but is actually from Panera Bread. It is, and it's also for $18.32. Now, to get caught up with all the numbers, from the very first order to this one, the first order that I accepted, which is Uber Eats from IHOP, was not for $14.53, but for $14.13. The next order that I accepted was from Outback for $14, and that's exactly what it paid. The next order, Grubhub from Red Robin, was for $10.14, and now this order Panera Bread is for $18.32. All that should bring my total to a little more than $56.50. And just as I turned into this subdivision, I accepted another Grubhub order, this time from Cracker Barrel for $8.50. Now that should put me over $65 in less than 2 hours, and I'm okay with that number given the areas that I'm working right now. As always, the goal is to make at least $100. Hopefully I can do this in about 3 hours, in between 3 hours, 3.5 hours, and I'll be okay with that for the first half. All right, so now we're in the Sand Hill Mall area, and we're coming up on Cracker Barrel. Cracker Barrel, this particular location, well, just for that matter, just about any Cracker Barrel location in the greater Columbia metropolitan area can be an experience in which you there's a better than average chance that you'll have to unassign the order, simply because it's just my suspicion that they hire a colony of one-armed cooks with no thumbs. But that said, hopefully this order is ready, and there's not much of a wait time. Because while en route to here, I also accepted a $17.47 Uber Eats order from Smashburger that's going to the Army base here in this greater metropolitan area as well. So this double play, or this stacked set of orders, has potential paying right at about $26. I believe the exact number would be $25.97, which would bring me to around $84 and change for the first half hustle. Well, just as I said, I suspect that they have a colony of one-armed cooks with no thumbs preparing orders, and the order's not ready. Now, Smashburger is a little further down the way from this entire mall area. In fact, that's where I'm heading to. Now, I'm certain that some of y'all, what you would do is, if you've stacked orders across multiple apps, or even if it's just a stacked order within that one app, what you may do sometimes is you'll go to the other place, check on that order. If that order's ready, you got that one in hand now, especially if you know how much you're going to make on the order. And then you come back for the other order, hoping that it's ready. Now, if it isn't, guess what? Somebody else is going to have that order. And that's exactly what the plan is. Now, selfishly speaking, I really don't need the Grubhub order, because this one is paying twice as much and it's taking me where I really want to be. The Grubhub order is taking me in the opposite direction, although because of the location of the Grubhub drop-off, I can actually find a back road and get to the freeway and motor it down to the base. That's not a problem. Of the apps, Grubhub is probably the worst when it comes to coordinating its logistics. And what I mean by that, Grubhub wants you to be there, say in this case at 1:34. The order's not ready. And with a lot of Grubhub orders, it seems at a lot of locations, you end up having to wait 10, 15, maybe 20 minutes if you really want to wait for that order. And what you find is that you just unassign it. Now in this market, the other thing is that Waiter/Bite Squad, the orders pay so bad that the orders sit for a long time. And so probably the average drop-off time in terms of on-time drop-offs, I would venture to say the average drop-off time is 45 minutes afterward. Yes, that's Waiter/Bite Squad's problem, because they don't pay. And so what they have to do sometimes is have $10 minimum pay days. Well, by the way, if you remember, just a couple years ago, I remember when I first came on with Grubhub, that was the minimum payout for a Grubhub order, $10. Then it dropped to $9. Then it dropped to $8, and then Grubhub became among all the other apps with its horrible pay at times. Now, the best coordinated place is Uber Eats. This happens to be Uber Eats, but I'm coming here to Smashburger, and Smashburger has their issues with across all apps, and it doesn't matter what location I go to in the greater Columbia metropolitan area. So hopefully this order is ready. I'm sitting out here a couple moments and, kind of getting you up to date, but I'm also buying myself a little time for both places. More than likely what's going to happen is, if I get Smashburger in hand, I'm dropping Grubhub and keeping it moving. And so So if I just go with Smashburger, then we're looking at about $76. And that's still not bad for 2 hours, 2 hours into the hustle. All right, the Gig Geezer did make the right call. The right call in that dropping the Cracker Barrel order turned out to be a better situation in that, first of all, Smashburger was ready when I got in. The lady was already asking me, are you here for this customer? And I'm like, yes. So that was a good thing. The other thing is that upon leaving Smashburger, I accepted a $9.15 Grubhub order from Hola Mexico, which is where I'm actually turning into now. Now, the good thing from a strategic standpoint is that the Grubhub order is in a linear path to the base, and that its drop-off location is about 8 to 10 minutes away from the base. So that's good all the way around. And again, from the money standpoint, I'm still going to be at about $84, and I'm going to be on the side in a part of town that I want to be to finish out this first half hustle. And lastly, we're looking at, if we're at $83, $84, we're looking at one, maybe two more orders to get to $100. Alrighty, we are now leaving the base, having dropped off Smashburger. We've already long since dropped off Hola Mexico. Both orders, as I mentioned previously, should pay in the range of about $26.62. Now, what I found interesting about the Smashburger order is that that order originated out by Sand Hill Mall. Sand Hill Mall from the base is probably more like about 15 minutes away because of traffic, getting to the freeway and all, and then getting on base and then going directly to the barracks where I had to drop off this order. Whereas there is a Smashburger much closer to the base, more like about 5 to 8 minutes away. But the order originated from the northeast part of Colombia. Now, I'm guessing, and this is only my guess, part of the logistical maze of coordinating orders on all the apps is based on also the availability of drivers. Perhaps it could have been where there was no driver close to that location. Then again, it could have been all based on algorithm, for all we know. But whatever, I just found that a little fascinating. Now, another scenario I can think of goes back to a couple of months ago with my daughter. She calls me up, asked me where I was, and she was hoping that I could just go to Zagby and pick up an order for her. Now, I was thinking that I would go to a location that was about 8 to 10 minutes away from her apartment. But she said she would go ahead on with DoorDash since she had already placed the order. It took a while before they could locate a driver or a driver accepted the order, but the order originated from a location that was like 12 to 15 minutes away from her apartment. Now we're talking a difference of 4 to 5 minutes, but I guess it depends on how long you want to wait for an order. But again, just keep that in mind. I mean, it's just something to throw out there. I'm wondering if that's the case with I suspect that's the case with that is probably one of the biggest puzzles to solve when it comes to logistics. Okay, the Gig Geezer has dropped off the Firehouse Subs order, and that order offer was $10. The final payout was $11.25. A little bit of a pleasant surprise because I really was thinking it was going to pay $10. Well, along the way to dropping off that order, I accepted a $12.08 offer from Tzatziki, which is literally about 2 minutes from this actual spot of where I'm documenting this drop-off. That offer would put the Gig Geezer at about $107 for the first half hustle. And that puts me in an ideal position to top $1,500 for the week. I had not mentioned anything to this point though, but based on my math, somewhere between $215 and $220 will be needed to reach that number for the first half. According to Gridwise, I need about $215. According to my math, I'm needing about $220, $221. But that said, I'm in good position. And so I'll get back with you once I've dropped off Tzatziki's and we'll wrap up the first half hustle. And by the way, hit that subscribe button. Give my content a thumbs up. share my content among others, and I definitely welcome your comments in the section below. Okay, we're starting a few minutes later than planned for this second half hustle. But a recap of the first half hustle again before we turn on all the apps. First half hustle ended at $107.63. There were 2 DoorDash deliveries for $25.25, 3 Grubhub deliveries for $37.61, and then there were 4 Uber Eats deliveries for $44.78. Well, actually, there were 3 Uber Eats deliveries for $44.78. So altogether, there were 8 total deliveries. And usually, when I go out, I usually try to complete between 7 and 9 deliveries. That usually gets me to my stated goal. So now, going into this second half hustle altogether for the week, I am, according to my count, $1,384.92. But according to Gridwise, I'm at $1,392.91. So what we're looking at is that $110, $115 corridor, and I should top $1,500 for the 5th time this year. So let's go out here and make that money. All right, as you can tell, the glasses are on and I'm in motion. It took me about 8 to 10 minutes before I accepted my first order of the second half of the hustle, and that is a 5-item from DoorDash, from a 5-item order from DoorDash at Tokyo Grill, and I'm actually about less than 5 minutes away from the drop-off location. That said, I turned down several orders before accepting this order, and some of the orders you actually are seeing on your screen as I speak. So $13.75. I doubt if there's any more money on this because 3 of the 5 items are white sauce and teriyaki sauce. So the goal is, since we're starting at $13.75, more than likely, the appearance right now is much darker than it was when I first started the second half hustle. What happened was, as I was describing my first drop off of the second half, which is from Tokyo Grill, I mentioned that I doubted very seriously that there was additional monies because there was a teriyaki sauce and 2 white sauces within the 5 items for that order. Well, as it turned out, the order paid $14.25. Now, right after I begun to say $13.75 and describing all this, I got a phone call, and that phone call lasted for quite a while. Now, meanwhile, I still went about accepting orders and delivering them, and so what I need to do is get you up to speed now. The next order that I accepted was a Grubhub from Five Guys, and that order, the offered amount was $8.72. I've since delivered that order. The Main Moon and Five Guys became a stacked combination, and after dropping off Main Moon first, while en route to dropping off Five Guys, and you may say finally, although it was in a rather expeditious manner, I accepted a waiter/bite squad from a place called Sakitumi, and that was for $12.69. And while inside of Sakitumi, I got another waiter/bite squad from M Vista, which is like literally around the corner from there, for $11.69. So I've got a stacked combination for $24.65. Now we are right at about 2 hours into this hustle, and so we're looking at about $58 and change. What I've been wanting to say, but since I've been on the phone all this time, is that there's been a definitely slow, dead vibe to the area that I've been completing these orders so far. And so I'm hoping that I can catch a couple of really good orders to put me closer to that $110, $115 mark. But now, that said, too, I have dropped off now 1, 2, 3. This is 4 orders. I need to have another 4 orders, more than likely 4 orders, possibly 5, in order to get me into position and meet, obviously, the daily goal of at least $200, but also put me in a position to top $1,500 for the 5th time this year. So we've dropped off the 2 Waiter/Bite Squad orders. And again, we're at $50, $58 and change, and exactly 2 hours into this second half hustle. And so actually we're halfway everything, money, hustle, and as I've mentioned already, it's not really a very busy vibe, at least where I'm at in this section of the Columbia metropolitan area. And the type of orders that are pretty much within the Gig Geezer's preference, they haven't been coming. And so maybe we'll see. We'll see. That's all I can say. We'll see. It's not looking good right now. But then again, stranger things have happened, or then again, there's been a history where things have turned around for the good for the Geezer. Next, it looks like the next order for the Gig Geezer is going to be a $21.61 stacked Uber Eats from Bonefish Grill and then Sciano's Pizzeria. These 2 places are like right down the road from each other, and they're taking me to an area that I really would prefer not to deliver to. Now, just from a money standpoint, if the orders pay out the way they do, that's going to put me at about $80 for the second half hustle, and that's going to also, and that may be accomplished in about and that'll be at about 2.75 hours into the hustle. But what's going to happen after that? Given that the vibe of things have not been all that busy and all, will that be my last good orders, or will something else comes up that will get me closer? All right, so I've got both the Bonefish and Sciano's order. The first drop off is to an apartment community in which you have to have a key fob to get in. Now, back when I did Amazon Flex, I could, during the normal business hours between 8 and 5, 9 and 5, 9 and 6, we can go by the rental office and ask for the key fobs, and we can go drop off the orders. But when I started completing deliveries to there as a food delivery person, we did not have that luxury. We have to use the dial-in system, whatever you call the thing, the dial-in system, and we punch in a number, and hopefully the person opens the door or click us open. And then a lot of these folk, they want you to come inside and deliver it to them. Why don't they make arrangements to come meet us? But you know, I think that's a part of the so-called perceived convenience that it is, where they have us to go and drop stuff off. Now, you know, that's also a big trepidation of us delivery drivers when it comes to like, well, particularly like with Roadie or with Instacart, and you get an apartment complex and you got to go up to third and fourth floors with 6 and 7, 8, 9, 10 packs of water or other fluids. That's not fun. Anyway, the Gig Geezer already got in a little bit of a workout during the first half hustle, and ironically, in between hustles, I got in some conditioning then, so I don't feel as bad. But we're gonna try to make this happen. Again, these 2 orders are gonna put me somewhere around $80. The exact number is probably more like about 79 and change. I know the lighting may not be that good. It is what it is though, but all right, we've dropped off the stacked Uber Eats order, which is supposedly for $21.61. The second drop-off location definitely took me out of the way, but as I was leaving the apartment complex, I accepted a Uber Eats order from Marble Slab Creamery for $13.48. That's going to take me back to an area that is far more desirable in terms of delivery opportunities. Now, if I'm able to get there with, as I've said earlier today, with due diligence and determination, that will put me around $91, $92 for the second half hustle, and that probably be accomplished in about 3 hours and 15 minutes, leaving me still about 2 orders shy of where I need to be in order to accomplish the second half hustle goal, the daily goal, and ultimately top that $1,500 mark. So I'll get back with you once I've picked up that Marble Slab Creamery order, hopefully, and that Uber Eats has not tried to unassign me from that order. Alrighty, we are really trying to make something happen. We're really trying to grind this one through here now. All I can say is the grind is really on. This is not a hustle. This is a grind right now. I just picked up the Grubhub order from Marble Slab Creamery. Interestingly, while the store says the store closes at 9 o'clock, it was 8:45 when I showed up, and they already had the door locked. I'm not gonna argue with them on that, but it was nice that the young lady brought the order to me, and now I'm heading off to drop off this order for $13.48. Meanwhile, I also accepted an Instacart order for $14 and change from Kroger. I believe there's 7 items, $14 and change, and that, if all the items are there, it's going to get me even closer to the goal. Now, the question is going to be if I'll get there in time. I believe that I'll get there in time because the drop-off location from Marble Slab is about 5 to 6 minutes away, and typically with Instacart, you got somewhere about 25 to 30 minutes to get to the location before it will try to unassign you. Now, here's where the math comes into play now. As of now, just 3 hours into the hustle, well, actually, by the time I arrive and drop off the Grubhub order, we're going to be at 3 hours and 15 minutes. And we're going to be at about $93, just a tick over $93. Okay. If the Instacart order, if all the items are available for the Instacart order, that's going to pay $14 and change. And that's going to put me at about 107 as well, duplicating almost the first half hustle. Now, you put that together, we're going to be very close to that $1,500, either by my count or by Gridwise's count. Because the reason why I say Gridwise, and I had not qualified it at the start of the second half hustle. And by the way, hit that subscribe button, give my content a thumbs up, share my content among others, and I definitely welcome your comments in the section below. Now, the reason why I say by Gridwise's count, because now I have counted the fuel assistance money by DoorDash, or at least that's already factored in. That's already been factored in during the week. What I never added was Uber Eats' fuel assistance money or fuel assistance contribution with its 45-cent surcharge. So I know that's out there, and that's why that explains for the $13.92 number. So let's say if I do complete the Instacart order, well, I am going to be there. It's just a matter of which set of numbers I'm going to use. I would like to use my numbers because that would be without a doubt me reaching $1,500. Alrighty, now the Gig Geezer did in fact do the Instacart order. Come to find out, the customer changed the number of items to 9, which would have been, had all the items been there, $16.88. Well, there was a couple of refunds, so I doubt that order is going to pay $16.88 now. But as an insurance policy, as I approached Kroger, I accepted a DoorDash from Pasta Fresca, which is right down the street from Kroger. And so I was able to complete Kroger, go down to Pasta Fresca in time, and pick up that order for $8.25. Now, all that definitely is going to get me over the $1,500 mark for the week, but also over $200 for today, and well over $100 for the Gig Geezer's second half hustle. Now, really, a situation like that, you do what you have to do. You know you've got a number that you got to make, and so sometimes you have to give yourself that little cushion or insurance policy in order to get there. And that's exactly what I did. There's no strategy to that. That's just sheer hustle. That's just sheer grinding it out. And this entire hustle is going to probably take me all of about 4.25 hours. I'm en route to dropping off both orders, but I am pretty confident by the time I drop off both orders, it's going to be about 4.25 hours. And so when I get back with you next time, the glasses will be off, and I'll be putting together the final numbers for this week and for the hustle. Okay, as you can tell, it is daytime, so I waited until the following morning to wrap up this hustle for April 10, 2022. And when I left off, I had accepted an Instacart order that appeared for $14 and change from Kroger. Well, the customer actually added a couple more items, and so the final offer was $16.88. And for added insurance, I accepted a DoorDash order from Pasta Fresca for $8.25. With the Instacart order, there were a couple of refunds and a substitution. So that order's final payout was $13.12. So it was a good thing and a good decision on my part to having accepted the Pasta Fresca order, because that order offered to $8.25, it paid $8.25, and all that brought my final weekly total to $1,514.24. And so therefore I did hit $1,500 now for the fifth time this year, 2022, and for the second consecutive week. The entire second half hustle lasted all of 4 hours instead of 4 hours and 4.25 hours, and I earned altogether $116.39. The total hustle for the day was $226.27. Here are some other numbers to throw out there. For you dollars per hour people, I put in right at about 46 hours last week, working all 7 days, so 7.0 days. And so I averaged $216.32. The dollars per hour, as I mentioned, as I had already kind of set it up, was $32.92. Now, for you mileage folk, I saw altogether from DoorDash, Grubhub, Instacart, and Uber Eats, $22.03, which comprised 1.45% of my earnings. Total miles driven last week was 1,055, and that translated into earning about $1.43 per mile. Now, what I had to say about yesterday, that hustle turned out to be a grind, simply because of how things just were not as busy as one would think on a Sunday. But you have to do that sometimes. You have to put in your grind. And also, and as I have said so many times now, thank goodness for having multiple options, meaning that I work multiple apps. So that's all I have for this segment of the Gig Geezer. Hopefully you liked the content that was provided in this segment. If you did, hit that subscribe button, give my content a thumbs up, share my content among others, and I definitely welcome your comments in the section below. I'm Inwood Lane, and as always, may your hustle continue.